Close your eyes for a moment. Now raise your hand. Good. Now ask yourself, who just did that? You did, of course. You commanded your body and it obeyed. You own this body, don't you? It's yours. My body, my hand, my life. But what if I told you that this feeling, this sense of ownership, is one of the most profound illusions we carry? What if you don't own your body at all? What if, in fact, the very notion of you as separate from your body is a linguistic trick, a conceptual prison we've built around ourselves? I'm Adrian Vale, and for nearly 6 decades, I've walked this earth asking uncomfortable questions. Today, I want to share with you an idea that changed how I experience every single moment of existence. We speak in possessives constantly: my body, my thoughts, my feelings. This language creates a fundamental split in our experience, a dualism that suggests there's a you that somehow stands apart from the physical form you inhabit, an owner and a possession, a driver and a vehicle, a ghost in a machine. This isn't just philosophy, this split shapes everything. It's why we say, I have a body, rather than I am a body. It's why we treat our physical form as something to be controlled, disciplined, optimized, as if it were a tool we picked up, rather than the very substance of our being. But here's what I've come to understand through decades of contemplation. You don't own your body because you cannot stand apart from it. There is no you separate from the breathing, beating, living process that you call yourself. Let me offer you an image. Picture a candle flame. Look at it dancing in the darkness. Now, what is that flame? Is it a thing? An object you could hold? No. A flame is not a noun, despite our grammar. A flame is a verb disguised as a noun. It's a process, a continuous chemical reaction, a dance of oxygen and wax and heat. The flame doesn't have burning. The flame is burning. They're the same thing. You can't separate the flame from the process of combustion any more than you can separate a wave from the ocean's movement. The wave isn't something the water has. It's something the water does. Now apply this to yourself. What if you're not a being that has a body and has a life? What if you are a process? What if you is simply the name we give to a particular dance of matter and energy, a pattern of organized complexity that has learned to call itself I? The flame doesn't possess its burning, the wave doesn't own its motion. And you don't own your body. You are the dance that it's dancing. You are the verb, not the noun. Language is a beautiful gift, but it's also a trap. It forces us to think in subjects and objects, owners and possessions. This grammatical structure has seeped so deeply into our consciousness that we mistake it for reality itself. When you say, I have a body, you're creating a relationship between two things, an I and a body. But where is this I that supposedly has the body? Is it in your head, in your brain? Are you a small observer sitting behind your eyes, looking out at the world through biological cameras? Many of us feel this way. We feel like we're located somewhere behind our face, peering out. But this is an illusion created by the fact that our primary distance senses, sight and hearing, are located in our head. We've confused the location of our senses with the location of ourself. Try this experiment with me. Pay attention to your breathing. Don't change it, just observe it. Notice how your chest rises and falls, how air moves in and out. Now ask yourself, are you breathing or are you being breathed? Are you actively controlling each breath right now, Or is breathing simply happening? When you sleep, who breathes for you? The truth is, breathing is something your body does, with or without your conscious attention. Your heart beats without your permission. Your cells divide without your instruction. Your immune system fights battles you'll never know about. Digestion, circulation, healing, all of this happens without any conscious you directing it. So where is this you that supposedly owns and controls the body? The more closely you look, the more it seems to vanish like morning mist. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The you that you think you are is not a thing. It's not an entity. It's a process, a pattern, a verb masquerading as a noun. You are not a being that has experiences. You are the experiencing itself. Think about a river. We give it a name, the Thames, the Amazon, the Ganges. We speak of it as if it's a single persistent thing. But a river is never the same water twice. It's a constantly changing flow, a pattern of movement through a landscape. The river is not the water, it's the flowing. Similarly, your body is not the same collection of atoms it was 7 years ago. Nearly every cell has been replaced. The matter that makes you up is constantly being exchanged with your environment. You eat, you breathe, you shed skin cells. You are not a fixed thing, but a dynamic process. A pattern that maintains itself while its substance constantly changes. You are not a noun. You are a verb. You are not a being. You are a becoming. Now, let's go deeper into this rabbit hole. Let's talk about thoughts. You believe you have thoughts, don't you? You think you're the thinker of your thoughts, the author of your inner monologue. But here's a paradox that might disturb you. What if you don't have thoughts? What if thoughts have you? Sit with that for a moment. What if thoughts are not possessions, but visitors? What if they arise on their own, pass through your awareness, and dissolve, and you are simply the space in which this happens? Pay attention to your mind right now. Don't try to control it, just watch. Where does the next thought come from? Can you predict it? Can you choose it? Or does it simply appear, unbidden, like a bird landing in a tree? When you really examine your experience, you'll notice something remarkable. Thoughts arise spontaneously. You don't think thoughts. Thoughts happen. An idea appears in consciousness. You didn't manufacture it. You didn't consciously assemble it from parts. It simply emerged. And then, for a brief moment, you identify with it. You say, I think this, or I believe that. But the thought was already there before you claimed it. You're not the author. You're the audience. This is what I mean when I say thoughts have you. For a few moments, a particular pattern of neural activity arises, and you call it my thought. But it's more accurate to say that you are temporarily that thought. You are the space through which thoughts move, like clouds moving through the sky. The sky doesn't own the clouds. The sky doesn't control them. The sky simply allows them to appear and disappear. You are the sky, not the clouds. This realization can be profoundly liberating. If thoughts are not yours, if they're just weather patterns moving through consciousness, then you don't have to take them so seriously. You don't have to identify with every anxious thought, every self-critical voice, every passing mood. You can observe them with a kind of gentle curiosity. Ah, there's a thought about failure. There's a memory from childhood. There's a plan for tomorrow. They come, they go. You remain. But notice what I just did. I said you remain. But what is this you that remains? Is it another thought, another pattern? Or is it simply awareness itself, the open space in which all experience occurs? This is where language fails us completely. We're trying to point at something that cannot be captured in words because words themselves are part of the process we're trying to describe. It's like trying to see your own eyes without a mirror. But the pointing is still valuable. Even if we can't grasp it conceptually, we can sometimes glimpse it directly. So if you don't own your body and you don't own your thoughts, what's left? What are you? Here's where we need to shift our entire framework. Instead of thinking in terms of ownership and control, think in terms of expression. Your body is not an instrument you play. Your body is the music itself. You are not a puppeteer controlling a meat puppet. You are the dance that the universe is dancing in this particular location, at this particular time. Every gesture you make, every word you speak, every emotion you feel, these are not things you have or do. They are what you are in that moment. When you laugh, you don't have laughter. You become laughter. When you cry, you don't have sadness. You are sadness, temporarily. This is not just poetic language. This is a more accurate description of your actual experience, if you pay close enough attention. When you're completely absorbed in an activity, playing music, making love, having a deep conversation, where is the boundary between you and your body? It disappears, doesn't it? There's just the playing, the loving, the conversing. The dualism collapses. It's only when you step back and reflect that you create the split again. You think I was playing the piano rather than I was piano playing. You create a subject separate from the action. But in the moment itself, there was no separation. There was just the unified experience. This unified experience is actually your default state. The separation is what's artificial. The dualism is what's learned. Children know this instinctively. Watch a child at play. They don't think, I am a person who is playing. They simply are the playing. They become the superhero, the animal, the explorer. There's no self-consciousness, no separation. It's only as we grow older that we learn to create this gap. We learn to monitor ourselves, to judge ourselves, to treat ourselves as objects, to be improved or criticized. We learn the language of ownership and control. And in learning this, we lose something precious. We lose the immediacy of experience. We lose the sense of being fully alive, fully present, fully integrated. But here's the good news. What was learned can be unlearned. The dualism can be seen through, not by trying to get rid of it. That would just be more control, more separation. But by simply recognizing it for what it is, a useful fiction, a conceptual tool, but not the deepest truth of your being. So what does it mean to live from this understanding? What changes when you stop trying to own your body and instead recognize yourself as the dance itself? First, there's a profound relaxation. You stop fighting yourself. You stop trying to control every aspect of your experience. You recognize that much of what you are is happening spontaneously, and that's not a problem. That's the nature of life. Your heart knows how to beat. Your lungs know how to breathe. Your body knows how to heal a cut, fight an infection, digest food. There's a deep intelligence in the body that operates far below the level of conscious thought. When you stop trying to micromanage everything, you allow this intelligence to function more freely. Second, there's a shift in how you relate to difficult experiences. Pain, fear, sadness. These are no longer things happening to you as if you were a victim of your own body. They're simply what you are in those moments. You are the pain, temporarily. You are the fear, temporarily. This might sound like it would make suffering worse, but paradoxically, it often makes it more bearable. When you stop resisting the experience, when you stop creating a you that's separate from the pain and fighting against it, the pain is just pain. It's no longer pain, plus the suffering of resistance. As the saying goes, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Suffering is what happens when you create a self that doesn't want the pain, that fights against it, that says, "This shouldn't be happening to me." But if there's no separate you for it to happen to, if you simply are the experience, then there's just the raw sensation without the extra layer of psychological suffering. Finally, there's a sense of profound connection. When you recognize that you're not a separate self locked inside a body, but rather a process continuous with the larger processes of nature, the boundaries between you and the world start to dissolve. You breathe in air that was just in the trees. You eat food that was recently part of other living things. The atoms in your body were forged in ancient stars. You are not separate from nature. You are nature, locally organized into a pattern complex enough to wonder about itself. You are the universe experiencing itself, as the physicist Carl Sagan once said. You are the dance that matter and energy are dancing. And that dance is not something you have or do, it's what you are. The flame doesn't possess its burning, the wave doesn't own its motion. And you are not the owner of your body, you are the dance itself. Thank you for dancing with me today.